to you. You're in charge.
Sure.
6 o'clock start, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right. We'll call the meeting to order. If we could start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Commissioner Jenkins, would you lead us in the pledge?
This is our flag for tonight, and let's honor our American flag with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
I felt like I was in a park. It was
With the wind.
Yes. You did a good job.
I'm wondering, should I wait a few?
Do you want
extra
us to
minutes?
do a few things first?
Well, why don't you do a couple things and then I'll hang those, and just in case. Does she come late sometimes, or do you know if she was planning on not being here? Anybody know?
No,
I don't
nothing was
know.
communicated that she was going to be late
Maybe
or.
she-
She confirmed. Well, she confirmed that she knew that a meeting was happening to me.
All right. Well, anyway, why don't we do a couple of things? I'll wait about 5 minutes, or after you pass your minutes, or whatever your next
So I
motion
need to
is.
do the roll call.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. Commissioner Elena Banks. Okay. Commissioner Jenkins.
Here.
Commissioner Schnell.
Here.
Chairman Small.
Here.
And Vice Chair Robb is absent. So all members of the commission are here with the exception of Vice Chair Robb and Commissioner Elena Banks.
Okay. So we're going to skip A for right now and move to approval of minutes. Item 1 is the Arts and Culture Commission meeting minutes from May 15th. And the recommended action is that the Arts and Culture Commission approve the minutes, but commissioners?
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
I second.
Okay, so Commissioner Small? Yes.
Yes.
Commissioner Schnell? Yes. And Commissioner Jenkins?
Yes.
So this motion passes 3-0 with 2 absent, Commissioner Elena Banks and Commissioner Robb.
Okay.
What's next on your agenda? May I
Public
ask?
comments? Are there-
I'm just here to, I've been trying to get to one of these meetings for a long time.
Okay, so no.
None.
Okay, so I don't need to read this then.
No, you have to read it anyway. You have to read it anyway. I have been told that you have to read it anyway.
Why don't I do these, and then I can
Okay.
continue Elena. If she comes later or something, I'll get a hold of her.
Okay.
I'll get a hold of her and have her come in to see me separately, so that's not a
That'll
problem.
work.
Okay, so,
I'm sorry though, could we have some clarity with regards to the public comments? If there are not to be public comments, does this need to be read or
it's,
no?
I think it's a good procedure to
Okay.
always read that briefly, and then after that, you, as the chair, you say, are there any public comments here this evening? And you say, Ms. Wewire, are there any public comments this evening? And she says, no, there are not. Okay, we close public comments, and then you move on to your next item.
Okay,
I don't know, I'm being a little more formal like we are
and
at the city council.
that's fine. That's what Commissioner Jenkins did recommend, and I just wanted to get the.
It just keeps it simple.
Your viewpoint.
Obviously, you don't have a lot of people in this room, but
Correct.
just to keep it simple and formal is probably.
Yes, thank you very much for the clarification. I hope you didn't mind me asking her that.
Oh, good idea, since I'm here, right? So, I apologize for interrupting your meeting. Let's go ahead and do this. I will do it real easy with you guys. Raise your right hands. I'll do all the work. And then when I'm finished, you can say I do or I will. Do you, Nancy and Karen, solemnly swear that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and that you will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, and that you will take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which you're about to enter.
I will.
Okay? Thank you, and congratulations once again, and I am going to hand these to you, if you wouldn't mind signing them for me.
Okay.
You got one. Okay. And I will catch Maria and Lena. Unless it was somebody, nope, wrong door.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, excellent. My apologies for the interruption.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
coming.
No problem. You all have a good evening.
Thank you.
See you, Dick.
All right, that brings us to item C, public comments. Anyone wishing to address the Arts and Culture Commission during the public comment section or on an agenda item is asked to request a request to speak form available at the door. The completed form is to be submitted to the Arts and Culture Commission secretary prior to an individual being heard by the Arts and Culture Commission. Any person wishing to address the Arts and Culture Commission on a subject other than those scheduled on the agenda is requested to do so at this time. In order to conduct a timely meeting, there will be a 3-minute time limit per person and an overall time limit of 15 minutes for the public comments portion in the agenda. State law prohibits the Arts and Culture Commission from taking any action on a specific item unless it appears on the posted agenda. Are there any public comments?
There are none at this time.
Thank you. Okay, that brings us to the old business. Item 2 is traffic control and utility boxes. An update from the commissioners and city liaison.
I have a handout for this that I'll share with you. If you want to pass that around.
Thank
I think I passed one
Oh.
to go this direction. So I will start with a brief report on this document and then be available for questions as I listen to your discussion. From my understanding, this is an important program that the commission has wanted to get off the ground. And so what you have tonight is what I'm proposing we take on to get this program going, which I have talked with our Public Works Director to get a list of utility boxes that would be eligible for us to have an art installation upon. I guess there are many boxes in town and some are scheduled for rehabilitation and some are not. So tonight you'll see on your list that there are 13 boxes here and their locations. What we are missing are the dimensions of those boxes, and apparently not every box is of the same dimensions. So what I'm proposing is that the commissioners complete gathering the dimensions for the front, sides, and back and top of the utility boxes at these locations and gather 3 quotes for vinyl wraps for these boxes. In the meantime, while the commissioners are gathering this information, I can start anticipating that we would bring something forward to City Council at a meeting in January to recommend launching a program for the art for the utility boxes with the locations, what the process would be for an application. There's a backside too. And the funding and how the art would be selected, which would be by the commissioners probably at the March meeting. So the idea is that we get the information together between now and January. I prepare a staff report to go to City Council in January to open the program. We solicit online applications, which the city liaison will create an online submittal form, do the legal disclaimer, get a sample contract together, create a flyer, launch a public relations campaign, all of that stuff to get the program going. We accept applications in February at the March meeting of the Arts and Culture Commission, make the recommendations to City Council of the art that's selected, and then at the probably first meeting in April, maybe the second meeting in April, we recommend that to the City Council, and we then use April to execute agreements and contracts with the artists and have an installation hopefully by next summer. So this is what I am proposing to do to get this project going. I welcome your feedback and comments.
Thank you. I had worked with Prior in a prior meeting when it came forward, and I had made it very clear that we didn't want to. We were going to try a kind of a pilot program and not do every box. It would be nice to do every box, but we thought 5 would be a nice number out of them. And then I also made it very clear to the staff person that I wanted politically to be throughout the city.
Mhm.
I didn't want one part of the city not feeling that they were left out. So a recommendation was made from each district. So he gave this out to all the commissioners
Okay.
at the meeting. And I can just, and then we talked about it and we all thought these were fine
Okay.
at that time. The commission, we could add more if we want, or we don't have to do any of these. Should I tell you which one on these lists?
I would probably either make a recommendation or make a motion to have a pilot program of 5 boxes and name those locations, or if you're asking me for the recommendation, I would then need to come back to you,
Yeah,
and that might also prolong.
yeah, so can we go?
Are they on?
Are they on this list?
I can read you them.
So,
Okay.
so here's, as long as we're discussing the point, if part of this plan is to go ahead and do all of the boxes, and it's moving in motion, then could anyone that would want to keep it at the 5 pilot, explain to me what the advantage of that pilot would be?
We had no idea of cost at the time.
Right.
So
but
we
now
just
we're-
thought that 5 would be, we could see what the cost of 5 would be. And if it was reasonable, you could further go on. And if the public liked the 5, then we could move on. But I'm not married to 5.
One of the options is to gather all of the dimensions for all of the eligible boxes and then determine if you wanted to select boxes by location, select boxes that all had the same dimensions. There's a couple of different ways to go there.
I feel very strongly that politically we have to have one in each district. And if we would not have one in each district, I think I would not be willing to recommend. That's just the political
Right.
outlay of it.
But if we have
So,
them in
other
all of
than
them,
that-
then there's no political or district issue.
No,
These are all the eligible boxes
Exactly.
at this time.
Exactly. So,
Is it okay to ask a question?
You have to be recognized by the chair.
and
A public comment for this item.
right. So are public comments allowed at this point?
You would need to
on a point
fill
on
out
the
a
agenda?
form
Speaker
afterwards.
slip and
She
then-
fill out the form afterwards.
Okay, but
Go
so
ahead.
she can ask a question, speak on items on the agenda, but not. It doesn't have to be during the public comments.
She can do either or.
section.
It's at your pleasure.
It is.
Okay.
And typically for a public comment, it is not a dialogue, it is a public comment
Right. That's
to the commission.
right. Once she makes a point, we don't discuss her point, but we can continue our established discussion. Okay, thank you. Thanks for clarifying that. Sort of, it just seemed a little gray area, and you're very welcome here, and we're really happy for your interest in what we're doing, and very much welcome your comments. So if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself again, and
Okay, my name is Chris Lombardi and I'm an artist. And I was just wanted to clarify, would there be a different artist on each side of the box?
That is all discussion for the commission. So
Commissioner Schnell, what's your thoughts on the?
Traditionally, usually one artist, or it could be a group of artists. Some will submit as a proposal with a couple artists, but predominantly the utility box is by one artist.
in my experience,
Predominance
it's by a group of artists on one application or one artist.
Yes,
That's their.
And
their
that's how we
canvas.
would accept the applications.
exactly, because you can, by the research of what other cities have done and all, that's pretty much said the norm of what they do.
Okay. Great. So, Commissioner Schnell, did you have any comments with regards to moving forward with all of the eligible utility boxes versus
I did a quick multiplication with the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, that's about. I did that multiplication.
You did that, but you'd use your calculator, and I did it the old-fashioned way. Prior to our previous meeting, I had, received a quote, thank you, of $750 per vinyl wrap. And so doing the math on 13, that's $9,750. That's what I got with my long method. Fortunately, we have those funds within the Art and Public Places fund. And I think, the other part that I think maybe I was missing, and I'm not sure, is does the city install them?
No,
Or I
if you
wonder
gather, if you look at what
gather
I'm
quotes.
recommending, it's to get the dimensions and then to gather 3 quotes and
Installation, because
installation.
perfect, because I want to say mine was just the actual cost of the wrap. That's my guess. And so
The other thing I would add is based on sort of economies of scale of staff time, and
Yes.
if we move forward with the program with somebody coming that prints and installs all the wraps, it may be cost effective to do it all together rather than trickle
Piece.
it out.
I know you're right. That makes loads of sense.
I mean, we have some momentum here, on a project, and to sort of ask for a portion of it, and have to do that process again to expand it is just, I think, just delaying what we're trying to execute around here. Commissioner Jenkins.
Do we, in the cost of them, just a question, for the artist, does the artist that is selected, that puts in a proposal, they don't get any stipend?
No.
Okay.
And I know we had discussed that at our previous meeting, and it's interesting, the majority, it's about half and half of the cities that either offer some sort of stipend, or usually predominantly what they'll do is offer materials if they're going to be painted.
Right. But because this
And
is
really, basically, it's publicity for the artist to have
Yes.
their work installed on.
I was just asking.
Yes,
Okay.
good question.
My first comment was about having one in each district. So I quickly went through, and everyone is mentioned here, with the exception I cannot identify any in Monarch Beach area. And I just maybe am not recognizing the street names.
This list is based on every eligible utility box that can be done. The other portion of utility boxes are scheduled for rehab, so they would not be eligible to be done.
I just wanted to point that out. There were 3 in District 5 I just saw, and there are lots of the rest in 4 and 3. And 2, I'm not as familiar with, Stone Hill and Golden Lantern.
That's
You've got a
we're
lot.
good.
You've got enough up in there.
Color.
So I just couldn't see any in Monarch, but
No, appreciate that. I very much appreciate that. And so I like to ask the question, as those boxes are not eligible because they're scheduled for rehab. Can you give us any clarity as to what the time frame is on that rehab, and that because of the approval and execution or installation rather of these, does the time frame of the rehab, does it make sense to put those on as part of this, or we just don't, it's too early, we wouldn't know the dimensions yet and all?
I can check again with Public Works
Yeah.
on what, I don't know if they'll have the information I was given did not have dates of when the rehab would take place.
Yeah.
It
Like, is it 2 months or
did
2
come
years?
off, so
Yeah.
I will have to go back and find that out.
Yeah.
It simply looks like Stonehill Drive is the drive for the boxes. Look at that.
I know.
Numbers 4, 5, 10, 11, and 12.
Yeah, so
So I'll get to see a
So
lot
it
of them.
so if we could, I guess if I could just have that information, just generally speaking, but it doesn't need to change this process, if we can get it,
I can come back with
motion.
that information in January when this information comes back.
Yeah.
And if the commission would like to make a change at that time, we can certainly do that.
yeah.
But I don't
good.
think we should stop the process.
No, let's get rolling on this and go ahead and approve this, make a motion to approve this, program.
So if you want us to do the measuring
Divvy
on the
them up.
boxes
Mhm.
and to get the quotes
Yes.
for that, the cost from the vinyl company?
Yeah, if you can get 3 quotes, and then in January we'll be able to, you can recommend the company that you would like
And
to go
so
with.
since I'm not the business person here, are there companies that you deal with, the city deals with, where you would get the quotes?
I don't, but I think one of your commissioners does.
I
mean, if the city has-
I have at least 2. So you're asking which companies?
You'll
Right.
be able to.
I'm just
come up with
asking the companies,
So
if there is a company that the city
I
deals
don't
with.
know if we have a company that does vinyl wraps.
And we would go not get a quote from them, it wouldn't be right, so I would like to know that.
Oh, I don't understand why you would not solicit a quote.
Okay.
I think it'd be okay for you to evaluate those quotes.
And it sounds like Commissioner Schnell has a couple other sources, so, and you two commissioners are the ones that are actually on this committee, is that correct?
Yes, we
Right.
have been.
Yes, so you're going, the companies that you ask to do the quotations, you're gonna have them go out and measure those boxes, right? You're not.
No, we measure.
What, you wanna do that?
Well, that's what we've
The
been
thought
asked. to do.
was to divvy up the boxes amongst the commissioners to measure, and that's why it says up here, have the commissioners gather the quotes.
Right.
The staff
the
liaison
quotes.
will take care of the online
I
application, the
don't
legal
measure
disclaimer.
anything in my car.
It's 3 to 4, well, for 4
It's
commissioners,
pathetic.
it's 3 to 4 apiece.
Right. Yeah, but, okay, that's fine.
Guess I'll do Stonehill. I'm only kidding. Anyway, but
Do you want to decide?
I'll do one that's right next to my house.
Sure.
I'm kidding,
I mean, no,
Right.
that makes sense,
You
right?
got-
But,
I'm being facetious.
I mean, we can do
I
that
think without
offline,
2
right?
commissioners here, it's
If
really.
you'd like to, I mean, that, I don't mind.
Yeah, I mean, with the,
Why can we just divide it into, since we're on the initial committee,
yeah,
why don't we divide it into
just,
5 groups and
Yeah.
send it out and people just say
Can
which
we
one
do-
they want?
we can
Yeah.
do that,
Yeah, that's
right?
great.
Okay.
And you have till January 8th to get the dimensions.
Yes.
so.
And you mentioned the front and back. Don't we do the
Front,
whole
back,
box?
side, and top.
Okay. I just didn't hear the
It's
side and
listed
top.
on the paper here.
What I will do is I'll give a good example of one of the other applications and write it up that when we send it to people, it'll just make it easier, or it just makes sense. You know what I mean? And they've got these templates and all these things. Will that be good,
And once-
Nancy?
Yes.
And once you have the dimensions, that's something that we can put as part of the application. if it's done.
Yes,
Mhm.
yeah. Okay.
We also, which is even more important to me than the logistics of measuring and all of that and so forth is the application that goes out to entice the artist to do it. And we talked about that at the last meeting, what the important criteria was. Did you receive that?
That is something that I will bring forward at the January 8th meeting as a sample application that you would have the ability to look at and discuss.
Because I was reading the arts and cultural for the city. You know that Karen gave me a copy of it. It was very nice. Thanks.
Here.
And in there it says in the application process that a rendering or model the proposed work, colors and material board so that we can see site and landscaping and lighting plans if necessary.
There won't be site
Okay.
landscaping or lighting plans.
And a statement detailing how the proposed work fulfills the purpose. So it's the purpose that we have to decide about how it would fit into the city.
Yes and no.
Yeah, I ran the program in Santa Ana for this, and we didn't make an artist have a purpose. It really was their vision. And we
Because
got
we
great
had put down
submittals.
in there, I mean, to have possibilities if they wanted, to have something of the history of the city or of the schools.
which
Which
The
could be
artist-
included.
The
part of the
artist could
Okay.
decide on that.
Yeah.
And,
So we don't need to have a theme throughout
No.
for the utility boxes.
No.
That sounds great.
I didn't think of one thing, but I was thinking of possibilities so it would fit in and not be in another city.
Well,
Wouldn't
you'll
have Disneyland.
certainly be looking at the applications and determining which you feel are the best for Dana Point.
Thank you.
Okay, so do we need to,
A motion.
can we have a motion?
I have a motion, right? You gave it the motion already?
Sure.
The motion was to approve the utility box program as presented by the staff liaison.
I'll
go
Is that
ahead.
the motion? I'll second it.
That was your motion, yes?
Great.
Okay. Commissioner Small,
Yes.
Member Robb is absent. Commissioner Schnell,
yes.
Commissioner Jenkins,
Yes.
and Commissioner Elena Banks is absent. So this motion passes 3 with 2 absent votes.
I just have to say, this is so exciting.
Yeah, it's really nice.
This is
It's
so
It's
exciting.
really nice to have some traction on a project there like that. So let's move to item 3, the Festival of Wales Student Art Contest, and an update from the commissioners. Same channel.
I'm on the committee,
Yes.
Festival of Wales, and Andrea Swain is the chair of the committee for the harbor, and she's had a death in her family, so we haven't had a meeting yet. We're having a meeting in November.
Okay.
And last year, we, Commissioner Schnell and I were able to get artists that went out on the boats with the students, and as a result, we've gone to 2 of their exhibits and seen the result of their artwork. Like the last one that I think was in Outlook was a picture of, if my mind is correct, the picture of the bottom of a tennis shoe out, and he has one of the buoys from the harbor on the back of the tennis shoe, and that was from his trip. So we will follow the same process. The only difference is they wanted me to go out in the boat with them last year. Commissioner Schnell was working, and I was in the hospital having a knee replacement, so I couldn't go. But this year I can go.
I was waiting in the bullpen, but you could have just called the big lefty out of the bullpen. That would've-
So I'll add this item to the agenda for January for an update.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Item 4, art in the community center and city council foyer.
I am, but
An
I
empty
am wearing Commissioner Robb's hat. I've had 5 phone calls
Yes.
from Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And so this is
Nice.
her agenda item, and so I just facilitated this by going to my car and meeting this gentleman.
Okay.
And I'm going to share with you that as a possibility, he has, and over there is what on display. If you could hold up his thing, he put it in a shadow box. It gives the history of himself, and it could be up next to the display. But what I did was I printed these for everybody as an option, okay? Here you go. There's your copy, and there's your copy. They're not too wet since
No, I was
spilled-
gonna say, mine's a little wet.
I
Not
spilled
wet.
water on him when I came. Then when I met the gentleman, he not only, so this is his folder too, in addition to his bio he gave me 4 of his pictures. So if we want to take a little break and look at these pictures, if we approve them that they be on display here, that's Commissioner Schnell takes care of that field, that area. I don't know how much room is there.
My comment was they're perfect size for the foyer in the city council area. Question 2, it has been a while since we changed out the city council foyer area. And in the past, Monique would do it. Would she still be the one?
We can find someone to change the art out.
Okay,
It's just what you guys decide you want to display.
perfect. I didn't, as I say, it had been a while, and should I contact the artist that's currently up there to have him pick up his work?
Why
Clay
don't you
Harris?
decide what you
Okay.
want to do, and
Okay.
then we will work out a plan to accomplish.
To make it happen?
Mhm.
Okay.
This is a personal friend of Commissioner Rob, and she thought it would be appropriate to have that. Now, I have some more information to give to this little project. It's not as simple as just looking at the 4 pictures.
Oh,
Okay. He has
The
this
folder?
whole folder, and he has, in case he wanted more and had a larger area, he sent smaller renderings of other ones that could be ordered, but I just smiled and it's not going. He does want somebody to sign off that they've received these pictures, and we can mail this to him or call him. He wants to come, and I will give you this whole entire folder, Commissioner Schnell, okay? So here's the folder, and his bio was in here also that I copied, and here is the whole folder. He is very particular about how these are stored. You will notice that you have to either, I had to put them in my car, you either have to put the glass to glass or the back to back, because otherwise they get ruined. And here is the padding that goes around them if they're going to be stored and not hung immediately, which I assume is going to be the case.
They will not be hung tonight, should you make it.
That's what I assume.
yeah, we'll take care of them.
That's
Well, whoever's taking care of them has to sign off on this for him.